today's lesson, we're going to talk about gear, what you need to actually get started. If you're a vocal cat or a production cat, this is going to be for you. Or just an engineer, period. I got some stuff I can show y'all as well. Basically, for engineers, it's just the software. You need the software. But for actual performers and producers, there's some couple things you may need, and engineers you may need this stuff as well. But this is basic, so this is how to do it at home. So first off, of course, you need a mic, a pop filter. You might ask, what is this? This blocks you from sending a bad signal into the microphone when you say not wrong words, but when you say words with strong consonant sounds like P or T, very percussive sounds. They don't necessarily work with the they don't really sound good being picked up into the microphone. So this kind of pretty much blocks most of the fast velocity of airflow that would go into the microphone and distort the signal when recording. So this is called a pop filter and a microphone. Pop filter, microphone. Pop filter, microphone. They normally come together. This is a Rhodes or NT-1A. I think that's the name of it. I was blessed with this. Yeah, NT-1A is the name of it. Rhodes NT-1A. You gotta excuse my room. It's a fucking junk box. I'm in college. I don't give a shit. And that's my microphone stand. This all can range for this setup right here. Probably with the microphones, probably the most expensive thing. There are cheaper mics out there, affordable mics that are really good. This one's about $250. The pop filter's probably about $50 itself. I'm not sure because it was given. My cousin won it in a contest for me. And then you have headphones. These are like $15. You need some monitors so you can turn off your main speaker and listen to it while you're recording. You need those while recording. So this is good for when you're recording vocals, when you're recording horn lines, this is when you're recording podcasts, anything. But the most important part of how to actually pick up these signals, because you can't just have the microphone. You gotta have the cord that goes to it, right? So you have this. This is called a TRS cable, if I'm correct. I'm gonna look this up and make sure I'm using the right terminology, so when you guys go to the store, you won't be lost. It's TRS cable. And this hooks into an audio interface, okay? The audio interface basically is the hub of where all your sounds and signals meet and disperse. That makes sense. So you have in from the mic into here. And this hooks into your computer by way of USB. So there's a USB, and it's hooked into my Mac over there, okay? And this picks up all the sounds, and quite frankly, all the sounds that come out of it, all the sounds that are converted into hearable signals are then in turn played out of speakers, and the speakers are also connected to here through the left and right. This is left and right, okay? And these are all TRS cables. I'm sorry, XLR cables is what you need. XLR. I'm sorry. There's different types of XLRs. I'm not really fucking sure. You need sometimes there's one with this end and then like the end with the other shit. I'm not a big technical cat, but this is what the other end of some of them look like. Okay, boom. And they go into different parts. I'm gonna hook this back up really fast. All right. Let's hook back up. And then you got XLR cables, right? They sometimes have this ending. Okay. TRS XLR You just gotta know your gear and what you're working with. You need monitors, and it has that. So this is the one end of it, and that little the millimeter jack, whatever length that shit is another one. See, I don't really too much know the fucking basics of the terminology, but I know what it looks like. And so since I know what it looks like, I can help you in layman's terms determine what it is and how to distinguish what you need. So you always need to look at what you're buying. Okay, so you need to look at your monitor, what kind of monitor you're getting. There's tons out there, all right? Tons of monitors out there. A lot of monitors. And with the monitors, they all have different types of backings, like things on the back. Okay, so this one has that. Now there are cables. See, there's I guess TRS cables are the ones that have both, like these endings. I do have cables like that. Matter of fact, I can show you one from my old setup. Well, actually, not from my old setup, but from a setup that I was gonna make. So there are. You gotta excuse the room. It's fucking fucked up, but if you overlook that, you can learn a lot. So you have these, right? So this is the example of what I was talking about. They work just as well, equally effective, right? We're not fucking multi-billion-dollar fucking producers and shit like that have everything at our disposal, so we have to improvise and use the little shit, where we make big sounds with the little shit, and people are actually winning Grammys from dorm recordings. So this takes me to my next stuff, I guess, in some weird fashion. So we talked about the hooking up of the microphone. Gotta have the cord that goes to the interface. This is a need. You need one of these, okay? Your headphones also hook here. If you're wondering how the headphones are hooking up, they have spaces for everything. You control your levels, right? And you want to make sure that you adjust your level when you record. When you record and you adjust your level, you want to get a sound check. There's something called phantom power, and cut it on. You have to cut on your phantom power in order for the microphone to come on. And you can adjust the signals, right? And so it's low. And it picked up a snap at first. I'm tapping the actual mic. But when you increase the input, see, it goes red. So when you're doing a sound check, if you say pickle, 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 see it turn red? That's because I'm peaking. So you want to make sure you turn it down, because red means bad. It's just very fucking simple. It just means bad. You don't want that shit. You want a nice signal, even if it's low. There's ways to turn yourself up using stuff inside of the software. And so I mentioned software, but now I'm just talking about external hardware gear. I'll get into software in another video, okay? So boom. 2 monitors, left and right. It's just called stereo. If you have one, you're recording in mono. Mono. One. Okay? Like from Greek etymology, whatever the fuck. You get what I'm talking about. So the monitors hook into there, and this hooks into there, and this, your audio interface, which is what the speakers and the headphones and the microphone are hooked into, linked to your computer. So your computer can output the sounds to the stereos. You getting it? I'm saying this for the people who just don't know what the fuck is going on and really want to start. Alright, so this is how you start. It's wise to get an HDMI cable and a TV, so you don't have to look at a screen. I'm 27. I'm getting old. My eyes are getting worse. So having things big is beneficial to me, because I don't want to strain my eyes too much with my age increasing. I kind of want to keep my eyes. So this comes down to this part of the video comes down to the actual stuff you select to work with. They call them DAWs. DAW. If you need me to write it down, I'll write it down. D as in dog, A, W. D, A, W. That's horrible handwriting, but stands for digital audio workstation. Come on, guys, we're in the digital age. We're not recording on 8-track no more, so you all have to adjust. This all can go for around. I spent what, $3,500, maybe around $4,000 for everything. And yeah, so also I forgot to mention there's foam pads under the speakers. You know, vibrations, they move, so try to secure them as much as possible so they don't fucking fall off your TV. Off your desk. But that shit does happen if they're not secure. You run a lot of bass through them. There's also stands. You can get stands for it. It might cost more, but the pads run you like $15 or $25. I don't really fucking remember. I just buy the shit because when I have money, I buy. That's what I buy. So from here you have. I use native instruments, right, to produce. The first part of the video I talked mainly about, you know, the listening and input, right? But this is the actual creation part that's aside from vocal and what you can actually put into a microphone like an instrument. See, I have a trumpet down there. I play trumpet. So the room is junky, like I said. There's different mics you can use for different purposes. Shout out to Rachel for these mics. And DJ Jumbo. But essentially, this is what you got. Alright, so the digital audio workstation I prefer to produce in. Well, first there's DAWs for multiple purposes. Some you produce in, some are more so for recording vocals, but ultimately they all can do the same thing if you program them to do the same thing or set them up to do the same thing. But quite frankly, I use Machine for all my production needs. You all see me use this all the time. Machine comes with software of its own, and it has hardware. So you buy the hardware and it comes with software. And I buy all the fucking sounds. I don't skimp around. There's an upgrade that costs about $700 I'm probably gonna get. I just don't have the space for it on the computer. But I do have the newest sounds. So sounds are important. Let's see. They are important because you just don't want to use shit that everybody else is using. It kind of differentiates you. People always talk about my sound and how I sound. It's like, thank you, I invested in it totally. It's completely compatible with my system. When you're using other packs and shit like that, they don't always fucking work well with your DAW. And I like to use shit that's consistent because I don't like problems, just to be honest with you. I like an easy life, and if I gotta spend money for an easy life, I fucking will. So like I said before, the software comes with the actual machine. I'm an advocate for this shit. They should pay me for this shit because a lot of people have probably bought shit because I talk about machines so goddamn much. But then you also need some keys. You know what I'm saying? Like, keys will help. You can get around without keys. You can get around without pads because, you know, computers have the piano roll. And this is what a lot of FL Studio producers use when they use Fruity Loops. They use the piano roll, right? Because you can just plop in a sound. But with Machine and having hardware and with pianos, which these are both really called MIDI controllers, they use a MIDI cable that hook to the computer, right? And then they send a signal, and you can play the note without having to click on that. You can it gives you a feel of the music. So, you know, it just depends on how you grew up. If you didn't grow up with musical training, this might feel foreign to you. If you did grow up with musical training, this might feel foreign to you. But if you grew up with both, like computers and technology and music training and all that shit, like myself, I'm kind of bragging on myself. Not really trying to, but you know, you just feel comfortable with both, and they work good for me. So this is why I use Machine, because I started off producing at like age 14 using FL Studio. I didn't have, hardware. All I had was my trumpet. But as I got older and got more money, I was able to buy shit, and this is what I like. You don't need a huge ass, big ass keyboard. You can get around with something small like this. This will run you for about 130. This is the complete 32. This is the Machine MK3. This is the Rocket 5 speaker, and that's a Rocket 5 speaker. This is the complete audio. And like I said, the NT1 Rhodes, the Sennheiser headphones, and I didn't mention the name of the stands, but it's a Pro Line stand. Okay, so these are the gear basics. In another video, I guess I'll get into like what the fuck everything means once you open these programs. And I failed to mention that GarageBand is a pretty good DAW to use for recording vocals and stuff. So you can record your vocals in here once you finish your tracks, or you can fucking record your vocals into Machine. It's fairly different. Can't really catch pickup notes that well, but if you're just recording for production purposes and doing your thing, your production thing, then you can do it all in Machine. But don't be confused or led astray. I do use both. And yeah, so I'll get into that afterwards. Maybe my communication style is good for motherfuckers because I just talk like, I guess, a street nigga or whatever. But this is going to help you get off the ground. Alright, so this is Sarge. Checking in and checking out. If you fuck with the video, let me know if it helped. And if you know people who trying to get started, I mean, fucking help them, because y'all ass need help too, and I'll kind of guide y'all. I won't give you all my fucking tricks and teach you music theory, but I'll at least show you what you can do or how to get started. All right, peace.